Wherever you are and however you are listening, thank you so much for being back with us on another episode of the Virtual GM Podcast. Today, we talk about a new property we just launched. You're not going to want to miss it. We also give you the 4 tips that you need to know if you're launching a property for yourself or maybe rebranding and reintroducing yourself to the digital world. Be sure to like and subscribe and follow till the end because I give away 30 minutes for free and you're going to want to know how to get that. Thank you so much for listening. Stay tuned. And most importantly, enjoy the episode.
Welcome back to another episode of Virtual GM Podcast. We're your host, Meagan and Cody, and we're excited to have you along for the ride.
I'm just glad to have you back because it's just been me on the last couple, actually, because we had some interviews and then I had to fly one solo. So it's good to have my partner in crime back with me.
I'm sure you did great. Okay, so we're going to start off with our segues like we always do.
Okay.
Personal and a business best, and I'm going to start.
Okay.
So personal today is Valentine's Day.
Heyo!
And
how many Valentines have we celebrated together?
I was thinking that.
Is it 18?
18 Valentines.
Yeah.
So now Valentine's for us is, just another day.
Well,
it is.
I mean,
it is.
You didn't get me anything, but I got you a pretty sweet pair of Jordans, so.
It's not very nice.
What do you mean? It's not nice to get you a Valentine's Day gift?
No, it was nice, but I wasn't prepared. I didn't get you anything.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So anyway, but
you'll hit me on 36.
For our kids, they're super excited. And
so excited.
I know. They just
Cash came in this morning and was like, "Good morning, Dad. It's Valentine's Day." Yeah. He was like, and guess what? My teacher emailed, I get to bring a stuffy and a blanket to the school today.
No, it's so cute.
They're so jazzed. And Liv got to dress up. Our kids go to a prep school, so they have to wear uniforms every day. But they got to wear whatever they want, or no?
No, it was etiquette day for 5th grade. So they're
only for 5th grade.
Only for 5th grade. So they get to wear semi-formal clothes, and she wore a dress and heels.
No, she didn't.
No, she did.
Open-toed.
Oh yeah, I said you're going to be cold, but
she has recess. It's freezing outside.
And PE today, but it's fine. She'll figure it out.
Our daughter is a girl's girl through and through.
Yeah.
Of course, she wore her heels.
But it's really fun to see. Kids, they're just so lighthearted and, it's just really exciting for them. So It makes me more excited that it's Valentine's Day.
We're not really good at holidays, like the whole thing.
Yeah, no.
Like people are posting all of their kids like Valentine's Day boxes.
I sent Liv with the Jordans box. It's perfect for Valentine's.
Oh, yeah,
it's
that
red
one. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, no, it's great. So anyways, business best, we just launched Edgewater, which is a new property that we're managing in Iron Mountain, Michigan.
Yeah, shout out Dan and Carly. Super exciting for them. Website looks beautiful. It just went live the other day. I just can't wait.
Yeah, so that's very exciting. What about you?
Are you going to talk about your personal?
I did. Valentine's Day.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's right. All right, so my business best, I was in Denver this week. I got to do a talk with the Vistage groups at a group of 15 C-suite executives, and it was awesome. It was a super fun group. The chair of the group, Nancy, was amazing. Great energy. It was at the Country Club in Greeley. Really good room. Great people. It was just the people in the room make such a difference on the talk. The talk's always the same, but the people in the room change how it goes, and it was like just light and fun, and it felt easy, and the 3 hours just flew by. It's just a really, really great group. So that was awesome. And then really cool to give a talk in Colorado because I grew up in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and our rival in basketball growing up was Greeley Gold, a basketball team from Greeley, Colorado, and we always met them in the championships of all these different leagues. And also my family lived there, so that was really cool. And I got to bring my dad along, and it just so happened the Nuggets played that night, which is, how amazing is that? So I got to go see the Nuggets in person, and Jamal Murray dropped career high of 55 points, and it's the most points ever scored by a Canadian in the NBA, and it's the most points ever scored on that court. No one has ever scored that many points in Denver ever. Wow. And Nikola Jokic got a triple-double, and Christian Brown had 21 points, 7 rebounds and 6 assists. It was the first time in NBA history someone scored over 50 points, someone had a triple-double, and someone had 20, 10, and 5 ever in the history of the NBA.
That's wild.
And I got to see that. So that was super cool. I didn't get to see Michael Porter Jr. or Aaron Gordon or Russell Westbrook or Peyton Watson. They were all injured.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh.
So that was a bummer. But because of that, I mean, Jamal Murray doesn't score 55 if they're all playing.
True.
So,
Yeah, he got his time to shine.
Yeah, and it was incredible. Sat next to a really cool couple from Eugene, Oregon, and he was Antonio McDyess fan growing up and said, I'll just be a fan of whatever team he goes to. So he's been a Nuggets fan for like his whole life,
Wow.
just like me, and he lives in Eugene, Oregon, so that was
crazy.
awesome. Just overall an amazing trip, so couldn't be more excited. And then check this out. You know that Nikola Jokic book I read?
Yeah.
So the author of that book, his name is Mike Singer.
Right.
And Will from the cleaning company,
Yeah.
he started a podcast with his buddy because he's from Colorado,
Okay.
and it's a Nuggets podcast,
Oh,
and they got Mike on it. And so I was like, dude, do an intro, would you please? Like, I want to have him winning the moment. He's like, absolutely. So I think I'm going to get Mike Singer, the author of Jokic's book, on my podcast.
that would be incredible.
Will be.
Yes, will be. Yes.
Super excited. Okay, well, that is
so cool.
that's a long-winded segue, but
Yeah.
just a lot of exciting stuff I had to get
Yeah.
out there. It's hard to do a segue by yourself.
Yeah.
Now I get to look at your beautiful face. It's a lot easier.
So sweet. Okay, what are we talking about today?
Oh, that's funny. I was going to ask you the same thing. We are talking about the launch of Edgewater Resort, and so we thought it's such an exciting time having Edgewater launch, and so we thought, what are the 4 most important things that you need to know if you're launching your hospitality brand? Now, this could be a relaunch, right? Because Edgewater has existed previous to us.
Yep.
We're just putting them under the Vibrant system, so that would be like a relaunch or a rebrand. But maybe you just bought a property and you're getting ready to put that property out in the world. And so whether you're in the process of redefining who you are in the digital space, or you're about to introduce us all to who you are, these are the top 4 things that you need to do. So number 1, this is the most important, because without this, they can't find you, and that's having a good website. So you can go to edgewaterresort.com. You can see the website we just built for Dan and Carly. Absolutely beautiful. Turned out so good. Obviously, having a great property certainly helps.
Yes.
Got a really good property. And most importantly, kudos to Dan and Carly. They had great photography.
Yes.
So that's what you need, because no matter who builds your website and how skilled they are, if you don't have good content, it's very hard to make your website come to life. And so that was amazing that they really had visually, their old website wasn't great, but it had lots of great content. I mean, it was a very dense website. I think it was over 60 pages of content on their website.
Wow.
So it had a ton of information. So we're able to obviously move that, migrate it over to the new site, and keep all the SEO that they had built. But you have to have a good website. It's got to be compelling. I think you have to have video in today's world. And so if you go and you land on the website, you'll see the hero image is a video. We've got a bunch of call to actions. And if you're new to that term, that's just the goal of getting someone to your website is for them to book. So a call to action is, how do you get them to the place you want them to arrive? And so we've got booking links everywhere. We've got sticky keys that follow you on the website. As you go down, lots of movement, colorful tiles, good imagery. We're using some parallaxes, which is like an image that when you scroll, it just goes over it. So it gives it that really nice freedom of movement. You want to make sure that you've got all the back end done right. So you've got all your SEO built for you, and you've got your meta tags, and there's so much that goes into a website. You can do it yourself on a Squarespace or Wix or any of those, but I think it's worth the investment every single time. When you imagine how much you put into your hotel, with what prices are in today's world, it's like you're putting millions of dollars into this thing. Even if it's a small boutique property, you don't want to try and save the $5,000 or whatever on a website doing it yourself, because that's your everything. That's where all of the business starts. So please, 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 whether you do it with us or you do it with someone else, invest in a website. If you have a property and you need a website and you don't know where to go, reach out to us, Cody@thevibrantteam.com. Love to take a look at your website. We can give you a quote, see if we can help you out, but do not try and save money on your website. It's one of the most important tools that we have. Okay, Meg, what's number 2?
Having a great PMS system. So
Imperative.
yes, I mean, we love WebRes, and we put most of our clients on WebRes. Most of our clients are on WebRes.
If we're building it for them, we're putting them all on WebRes.
Yeah.
It just, if they have Think, we won't move them, because Think is also great.
Yeah, yes. But we just know WebRes, and it's been a great tool.
And this is going to be a virtual GM property.
Yes.
So all of our virtual GM properties run off WebRes. And so that's imperative for the VGMs to be as successful as possible, having that uniformity and switching properties.
Yeah. And WebRes has been so great to work with. They've also launched so many different updates in the last year.
Yeah.
That have made it like what they were lacking, they've made up for that.
Yeah, go to any of our websites and go to their booking engine. I know Cougar Ridges has a really beautiful back image. I think the 505 has an awesome back image. Go check them out. Now, when you look at the booking window and you see all the rooms, the presentation is,
so much
and that's
better.
actually one thing we still need to do for Edgewater is we need to find a good picture for their background image.
Yeah.
So I'll put that in Trello. I thought about that yesterday.
But yeah, having a great one is essential, especially for the people who are running it.
And for people who don't know much about a PMS, what are some of the things that you think make WebRes great? And maybe what are some of those new features too that you could talk about?
The flow of it is also pretty straightforward, right? So if you're looking for something, it's easy to navigate and find. Some PMSs I've been in, it's like I don't even know where to go to find what I'm looking for. So
Well, and another thing too, we talked about this in the episode you weren't here for, episode 35, but one of the things that's so important for WebRes that I love so much, they have reports for days. You can pull a report
Yes.
any way that you want,
Yes.
but the one that is so valuable to me is I was talking about how our properties are seeing great growth year over year and the
Yes.
booking season looks really good, but it's because WebRes allows us to go back in time and say, what were our bookings at this time? Not what was our revenue,
Right.
but what did we have booked on February 14th of 2024? And we've had other PMSs like Little Hotelier, for example. Little Hotelier worked, but you couldn't pull that report. So Cougar Ridge was on Little Hotelier in the beginning.
Yeah.
And so that was before we started working with them. So we couldn't look back and say, what's our
had.
pace? You could only pull what was earned.
Right.
But what you really need to do is look forward in time and say, are we behind? Are we ahead? What's our ADR difference? What's our occupancy difference? And where can we pull and push?
Yeah.
So the reporting in WebRes is phenomenal.
Yeah. I would just say the ease of use, right? It's really straightforward. Looking at the calendar, it all makes sense.
And that's
It's very
always
visually good.
That's always been true of WebRes, and now the consumer side is so much better because the booking
Yes.
engine now,
Right.
the updates that they've done to it, it is just like amazing. Oh, and the other really cool feature that they have now, talk about the seasonality.
Oh, yeah. So you can load pictures based on the season. And so if you want to show winter pictures in winter, like you can just put a time frame and you can upload those winter pictures and then you can switch them for the seasons, which is great, especially for places who, have the seasons and they look differently.
Yeah, I was even thinking
Seasonally?
for Cougar Ridge, right? Because if you don't know geography, you might think like, oh, Cougar Ridge is in the desert. And
Right.
so I'm sure it's going to be nice in the winter,
Right.
but it snows. So if
Yes.
you're looking at a picture and the grass is green and the pool is open and you're like,
Yeah, you're not going to get that.
But then if you go out there and there's a foot of snow,
Yeah.
you want to know what that looks like. And I think not only that, but it just sets the right guest expectation because there's times,
Definitely.
like even at Cougar Ridge, that field
Yes.
in like May is all green, like a
Right.
beautiful green, the hay field.
Right.
But then when they harvest it, then it's just dirt,
Yeah.
And so
Or in the winter.
yes.
There's
So
no green.
depending when you're looking at it, it's completely different. So I think that's just a brilliant feature.
Yes.
Like well done, WebRes, for putting that together.
And they make a lot of features that are customizable. So for like I who use it, I like to look at it a certain way where somebody else might look at it a different way.
Yeah.
And so they can set those settings up for them specifically, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And it remembers it.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So PMS, you got to have it.
Yes.
Okay, number 3 is guest communication flow. And so it's critically important that guests understand all of what to expect when they book with you. So what does that automation look like? And I'll let you talk a little bit about like the WebRes automation and what we use for that. But then you've also got the other tools like an Akia. So in fact, I don't know why we gave this one to me because really you can probably
Yeah.
talk more about it. So let's talk about the guest communication flow. What does that look like from when someone books until when they arrive?
Well, we set up a couple different ways. So through WebRes, we have a confirmation email that goes out automatically to the guests, which is super nice. And then we also send the arrival instructions through email as well. So we have it set up where it sends them all the information they need to know, but also we do Akia. So we send them a guest agreement through Akia. We also send them their arrival instructions through Akia. So they're getting 2 forms of communication because you just never know.
You might have
what's gonna
1,000
reach them.
emails in your inbox and you'll never see it.
Yeah.
But you could probably see your text message.
Yeah.
And one thing I want to touch on, what's really cool. So Cougar Ridge is building another unit. So one of their units will be impacted by construction this season, and we were able to put in the arrival notes a construction notice for just the one unit.
Oh.
So not like all of them, but just
Yeah.
if you book this unit in that confirmation email, and even in WebRes, it says like at time of booking, please be aware there'll be you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but it doesn't give it to like unit 1 who
Right.
it's irrelevant
Not
for
gonna
them
be
because it's not
affected.
going to impact
Yeah.
them at all. So I thought that was great.
Yeah, that's so awesome. So yeah, we send it out 2 different ways because you just never know what somebody's going to see. And sometimes they don't see either.
Yeah.
Right? And that's
And
fine.
talk about the guest agreement with Akia because I feel like that's so huge.
Yeah, we have it set up differently for a couple different properties. You know, you can really customize it based on what you want and need. But we send that out 3 days prior to arrival. You know, that's just them checking a box saying they agree to all our conditions and terms.
Which is huge
And they
because then
sign
if
it.
we have to charge them for, like we had someone at a
Extra cleaning
property
fees, right? They're aware of it because they're signing it before they're
Yeah.
checking in.
where they could dispute it otherwise and
Yes.
say I was unaware.
Yeah, and some of the properties we have it set up where they can upload a driver's license. They can put in a credit card, which then brings it back over to WebRes, which is super nice for like incidentals or guests who book through an OTA.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
We
'cause
don't have their credit cards.
Right.
And so we don't have any, action to be able to charge them if we don't have a credit card.
Another really cool new feature of Akia is so we use Flowdesk. That's what we've used for all of our email campaigns. But Akia is building their own email campaigns.
Really?
And
so smart.
I know. And they also they have their own lock integration now.
Yeah.
So we've been using that at the Shelby Inn and it's awesome so far. I mean, obviously the less integrations you can have, the better,
Yeah.
And so if you're using Links for your locks and Akia for your messaging and Towsy for your
AI.
for your like reviews and stuff, and then you've got Flowdesk for your email campaigns. It's like if you could do all 4 of those in one,
Yeah.
that's pretty. Not only is it going to save you money, but it's just more effective,
Right.
You know,
You
and
just have
so
one place to go.
the other nice thing about that is because Akia from their guest agreements, they do get their emails and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's the thing. When you
But when
upload
you-
it into Akia, it transfers it over into WebRes. So for third-party bookings,
We're finally getting
we're getting their
That's
actual
amazing.
emails.
Because if you've listened to this in the past, we tell you someone books on an OTA, they're not your customer.
Correct.
Right? They're the OTA's customer.
Right.
But with this guest agreement, it's kind of a way to circumvent them back to being our customer.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. So I'm excited for the Akia thing. I hope we'll end up testing it with someone to see how it looks and what's the
Definitely.
flow and everything like that.
I mean, everything they've built so far has been really, really awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
And they have features we don't even use, like upselling. We don't.
Yeah, and Emily just did a training with them this week. And so there was the upselling. There was also tipping for housekeeping through Akia that you could do. And then there was another one that was really cool because we were talking about it with Jordan for the 505 in the local, but now it escapes me what that was. Oh, no, it was the email campaign. That's what it
Okay.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The tipping for housekeeping, that would be really nice because
Yeah.
how many people carry cash anymore?
I know.
And I don't even think about it, right? But if it was just a simple little button I could just press and, give them $10.
And that's a good reminder for the listeners when you travel, tip your housekeepers,
Yeah,
especially if you're doing a multi-night stay.
for sure.
If they're in there taking care of your room while you're there,
Yeah.
give them a little tip.
Yeah. Doesn't have to be anything.
The only thing you
Anything's
have to
better.
do, that's what it was too, is Akia. So before you had to use Stripe. Like remember we used it for
Yes.
Water Canyon maybe.
Yes.
Now they are creating their own merchant,
Processing?
their own merchant account too. So
Wow.
you can just
It's
run
just
it.
going to be a one-stop
Yep.
shop.
So you can connect Stripe
Nice.
if you already have it, or you can just run through theirs and it's like 2.5%, which is pretty good because
Yeah.
usually it's like 3%.
Okay. I love that. What's the next one?
Okay,
Integrations.
number 4 is integration. So we kind of got onto that a little bit, but you've got to also then connect all of the other ways that guests are going to interact with you or connect with you, and this is one of the things that's so important. And depending on who your PMS is, there could be a cost associated with this. But you want to have as many inflows for opportunities as possible. And so when you're setting up your integrations, you've got your Airbnb.
Mm-hmm.
That's critical. We don't use VRBO.
Well, VRBO is owned by Expedia, and
So
so,
if you're
people
on-
actually can book through Verbo.
As long as you have an Expedia connection.
Yeah.
So then you've got your other OTAs, of course, your Expedias, your Booking.coms, and then you've got things like Google Ads.
The Google Hotel booking link.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
a great
huge.
one.
That's such a, because that's going to give the consumer when they're looking at properties, it gives you all the different rates right there on Google. And so you really, really want to make sure and that one has been unbelievably successful. Like
Yes.
we get so many bookings through that. What were some of the other integrations? Did I leave any off?
Revenue management.
Oh yeah. Yep. Your revenue management. We're big fans of Duetto. They've been so great to work with. They just helped us out with a property that's no longer working with us, and that was so gracious of them. Shout out to Travis at Duetto. He's just amazing, and it's incredible. I know for a fact that I can't remember if it was this episode or others. We talked about a couple of our properties are up 60% year over year, and that is Duetto without a shadow of a doubt. The ease at which it allows you to execute revenue management, and they even have some autonomous tools that could really even just do it for you, but we like to have our hands in it. But just for example, on the bungalows, we're going through every week and looking all the way out through July, and every time we're yielding.
Yeah.
There's rates going up and rates
crazy.
going up. And so we are just seeing such great success, and the ease at which you can change prices, because a lot of times you're not changing like the price for a month. It's like, oh, this day has some opportunity. Oh, this day has some opportunity. Here's a pocket of 4 days. This day we need a raise. And in a traditional PMS, it's like, that's a lot of work to just go in and change the price for a day.
1,000%.
And Duetto, it's as simple as just typing in what you want the price to be.
Yeah, Becca does it so quickly.
And then it talks to WebRes directly. I mean, it is unbelievable, the ease and the success of Duetto.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's been great to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's our 4.
Okay, so then let's recap those. So these are the top 4 things that you need if you are launching your hospitality product. So number 1 is a great website. We can certainly help you that. Number 2, a great PMS. We recommend WebRes or Think. We can also help you set that up. Number 3 is your guest communication flow. The properties or the softwares that we work with that outside of the PMS are Akia and Towsy AI. Both are amazing. Highly recommend them both. And number 4 is all of your integrations. So that's your OTAs, your Airbnbs. We like Expedia and Booking.com. Those are the 2 that we primarily use. And of course, Google Hotel Ads. And those are the 4 things that you need to launch your hotel brand. I hope this website was impactful for you, gave you some good direction and advice. And of course, if you find yourself in the process of this and you feel like you need help and you don't want to do it alone, do it with us. Reach out to us, Cody at thevibrantteam.com. We would love to help you out. And having a conversation is free. So, in fact, I will put my Calendly link in the show notes. And so if you want to book 30 minutes with me just to have a conversation to see what makes the most sense, I'm going to give you advice whether you work with us or not. So you might as well take advantage and get 30 minutes for free with me.
I love it.
Okay. All right. Well, that is a wrap. I hope everyone has a great weekend, and we will see you back in 1 week.